whenever I got to play season 11, obviously one of the first things I wanted to do was play as Ashe. I wanted to see whether or not her abilities were as good as everyone thought they were going to be. And I will say that it didn't take me very long to formulate my opinion on Ashe. So in this video, I want to explain all of her abilities, how they work, how you can use them, and how you can gain a competitive advantage on this. And will she actually be used and viable and ranked at the high level, at the low level, in ALGS? And do I actually think that she's gonna replace Wraith? Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. As always, I'm gonna take the face cam away because I want you to be able to see the entirety of the season 11 gameplay. I know that's why you came here. Don't forget to leave your dad joke of the day down in the comments. As always, the best one gets pinned and in the next video. So let's talk about Ashe. Now, in my opinion, Ashe is going to be a very it's going to be a really hard subject to cover because there's so much questions. There's so many questions. There's so much uncertainty with Ashe, in my opinion. Now, personally, I feel like in the hands of a high skilled player, she's going to be incredibly phenomenal. But I don't know quite yet if she's as easy to use as Wraith. So I want to run through everything about Ashe and why I think she's going to be so good. And then I want to tie it all back in together as far as, will she be like this next game-breaking legend? Will she be like that good? Is she really going to replace Wraith? So let's dive deep into each specific ability first. So I have a pretty long strung out fight with another Ashe, as you can see on screen, and I'll let this entire fight play out so you can see how, you know, I chose to use Ashe here. But there's a few things to keynote. So first off, I think you guys are going to really like this part. I know it's a dumb thing to like about a legend, but the legend actually runs quick, and obviously they all run the same, but her hands pump fast when she runs, so it makes you feel like you're a faster legend. I don't care what you say, this makes a legend feel so much more smooth, in my opinion. It just gives you the impression that while you're playing her, that you're actually moving as quick as you are. One thing I don't like about Ashe, and this actually could just be an audio bug, is that her footsteps are loud and very annoying. Unlike a traditional footstep audio where you just hear, you know, like an elephant stomp or something like that, you hear just this loud metal clanking on metal as you run. And it's not just like a footstep audio, you hear it in your own headset of your own footsteps, and it's just loud and it's really annoying. Hopefully this is just an audio bug. Hopefully this will be fixed whenever the season 11 does launch. Other than that, I don't really have any other gripes and complaints about Ashe, and it's because her abilities are so fun and so useful. And here they are. So first off, we got her tactical. Now you see me use her tactical right here, and essentially what it is, it's a moving orb that you can throw, or more so cast, and it's going to go in a straight line of where you throw it. Now if you actually throw this in the radius of the enemy, it will like kind of retract them like with a stun and pull them back towards the center, kind of like the same principle of a Horizon ultimate. It's going to pull them back, and it's also going to do a little bit of damage. I've found personally that the best times to use them is when people are holding a door. So if someone's holding a door and they're not letting you out, I find that that's the best time to use it, is just to throw it on the door. Now you do need to be careful when you're throwing this, because if you're aiming it at a target that's at quite some distance, if you actually throw it and it hits an object before it makes it to that specific spot, it actually will stop and kind of retract on the wall. So for instance, if you want to throw it at, you know, next to a building, but you accidentally throw it at the building and it hits the side of the building, it's going to stick to the side of the building and it's not going to go all the way that you want it to go. Now I did test this out in the firing range, and it looks like this thing just continuously goes on until it actually hits a spot or an object that it can stick on. Now I do think that the reason this kind of sets her apart from Wraith is because Wraith's abilities are pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy to use for any level of player. However, with Ashe, her tactical is pretty good, but you really need to know what you're doing, and it's just because it involves a little bit of aiming, a little bit of knowledge with the map and where you're throwing it. And personally, I really like stuff like this in the game because it kind of forces people to get better at the game, and it kind of rewards those who are better at the game. This thing is really hard to get good with, in my opinion, and I kind of sucked with it. So it's one of those things you're going to have to practice and get used to. But need not to fear, she has another ability, and this is her ultimate ability. Now her ultimate ability is incredibly good. It's incredibly fast, and it's incredibly useful. Even though Ashe's tactical ability takes a lot of skill to use, her ultimate ability kind of makes up for that. And it's because it's not a simple portal. Basically what it is, it's a big large sword that you can do a phase tear with and cut into a dimension, take the portal to this spot. By the way, it goes 63 meters. And trust me, I tested it out in firing range. That is as far as you can go, is 63 meters. And what it does, in about half of a second, it creates this 63 meter portal. Now, Wraith's portal takes a little bit of time because you actually have to run that distance. This one, however, is a free, no shot. You're not going to take any damage. You're going to get this free, clean portal. However, one thing you need to know is that it is a one-way portal, so it creates for a lot of outplays. and it also creates for a lot of repositioning without getting shot or without getting chased. For instance, a lot of times if you jump on a team and you have a portal, or if a team jumps on you and you have a portal and you take it to get away, you're not necessarily covering that ground at all as good as you think you are, because that team could just take the portal as well. They can shoot you down and then go take the portal back. However, with this one, if they take the portal to chase you, they are 100% committing to that location that the portal is in, because you can't take it back from where you came from. For instance, it's going to be really effective in my opinion late game, because you're going to have people that are not going to give up high ground, people that are not going to give up their building. They're not going to chase just for that KP, simply because they know that there's no way to get back once they take it. Now, you might actually have people do this. However, it probably is going to hurt them more than help them, and most likely over about a week after they figure it out, they're going to stop doing it. Now, there's another thing to note about Ashe's ultimate ability, and that is the fact that the portal does not last nearly as long as Wraith's portal. I can't remember the exact timer, but I'm pretty sure Ashe's portal only lasts about 10 seconds or so. So you're probably also going to be helped in the fact of teams chasing you through the portal, because they know that if one of their teammates takes it, all three of them have to take it back to back to back. Otherwise, it's very likely that their teammates are going to miss the portal. And even though that one guy might be one shot, if he pushes by himself and there's no way for his teammates to get to him because that portal disappeared so quickly, he honestly might get his game ruined. So I feel like a lot of people are not going to be chasing in this portal. Now, on one hand, you think this really promotes healthy gameplay because it allows people to kind of do what they got to do and reset, get out, and heal without having to worry about being third-partied, because they can kind of create an untraceable, an untrackable portal to get them out of the situation, and they don't have to worry about the other teams taking the portal and just jumping on them. But it also kind of creates a scenario, will you find Ashes actually grief games? And basically, what if they pair Ashe with Wraith and they take a portal onto a team, grief a team, then take the portal back, then take the Ashes phase tear out and her ultimate ability? That way they can completely escape the situation, but also kind of grief other people's games. I really hope you don't see that kind of mentality, but it could very well be possible. Now, lastly is Ashe's passive ability, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of an idiot and I didn't know how to do it, but I can show you that it did happen to me. So essentially what it is it reveals death boxes that recently happened, and it also reveals the survivors on the minimap. And yes, you do get alerted when you are marked. So I think her passive is going to be really huge, because it's going to give you information about where people are positioned, where people are on the map, and where you might need to rotate to next. So if I have to be honest with you, here's my opinion on the Ashe versus Wraith scenario. Yes, I do think Ashe is better. Yes, I do think Ashe provides a team with more support. However, I think they're kind of different. I honestly think you might see a situation where people might pair them together, because although they seem very similar, they're not as identical as people thought they would be. But yes, to the answer to the question, I do think she's better. So let me know what you think of Ashe's abilities down in the comments below. Do you plan to be maining Ashe in season 11, or actually have someone else in mind? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to leave your dad joke of the day as always in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, subscribe to the channel for more, and I'll see you all in the next one. It's Vibe or Die, only positivity, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later, Gators. Don't worry, Golden Nuggets will be back soon.